before, but our hearts are connected. Blood circulate, even water can't wreck it. We're fun, sexy, intelligent, a little crazy. We all seem to make it look easy. Come join us and have a good time. The family bloodline. The family bloodline. The family bloodline. The family bloodline.
Well,
Get it out, girl.
like I barely had a voice yesterday. I'm trying to stay alive. So we're here for a quick hit on current events as they have happened and as they develop and as they evolve.
No pun intended on that hit.
No pun intended at all. None at all.
What up, Neil?
Hey, everybody that's joining us. What's going on?
Yeah, so it's come to everybody's attention since late last night. The events surrounding Chris Rock and Will Smith, and we'll put some things into context for people in a little bit. But before I do that, let's just let everybody get a chance to finish feeding their kids because this is a little unscripted for us.
Oh my God, yes. I definitely just threw some vegetable lo mein and some sweet and sour chicken together for my kids. I'm like, hey, mommy got something to do. We got let's go ahead and throw this together real quick. Oh, look who out of FB, Jeezy. What's up, Cecil?
Cecil back with it.
Fire. Brother Jerron, so what I'm going to do, and we're going to see how this is working, but we will post the link to the live for the podcast in the chat. And as we continue to go and as we continue to discuss and talk about different aspects of what happened, we'll bring various people on. Just to hear your side of the story. Maybe you got something that we haven't listened to or heard or thought about or what's happening, Ed.
Hey, everybody.
What's up with it?
To hear what everybody got to say about it. But again, let's give people a few minutes to feed their kids and change clothes and put their cigarettes out and pour themselves up a drink. I mean, I'm on vacation, so I got all night with this. I know y'all might be morning.
Look, yo, you just Wanda just coming back from vacation. You going on vacation. I need to put me some plans in the work.
Woo child, let me tell you what. I went back to work today, and it was like, we knew he was on vacation. You well rested. Get to work. I am wore out, y'all. Like, seriously.
That's what they do.
I'm like, yo. But they just came back from spring break, too. So, everybody trying to get it in. Oh, that's what's up. I've been waiting for this all day, too.
So, I just posted the link, and I'll post it every so often as we continue to talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock and the slap heard around the world, the slap watch
heard around the world.
And we'll see what happens from there. So
never problem. I didn't want to say it out the egg, man. Never problem, James, whatever you want to be called. I don't want to put you out there like that, but y'all gentlemen are always welcome at the crib. Look, we got a little live show. They've been waiting to talk about Will Smith, huh?
Yeah, we gonna talk about this point too.
We definitely gonna touch on that.
We want to cross that. We want to cross that not how you're not lying, but we want to come upon that topic. Want to talk about that and see what it is, what if any relevance it has to what's going on.
Correct.
We got one waiting backstage. I see you, bro. We ain't gonna have you wait too long, but we've been doing this 5 minutes. That's what I was waiting for. So let me start off with showing what actually happened for those who didn't see it. Who didn't see it.
I don't know who ain't seen it, but all right, let's go ahead and do it.
Roll clip.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith did.
This is the cussing part. He was saying Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And
you
when
ain't see Chris' hand, he reached back, boy. He was finna give it to him. You hear me?
Hey. And right now, Will is yelling out, keep my mouth's name out your fucking mouth. Out your fucking... Yeah, okay. That's what that was.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right, so the stage is set, right? Everybody got to see the clip. And if I need to, I can play it again a little bit later on. But this is a bit of an in-sequence type of deal.
Woo!
Just to show the photo of it. And Will gave it to him. Will gave it to him. All right. So real quick, Jerron, we'll pull you up, but hold your comments until we get around to you. I ain't gonna just leave you hanging. I got you. All right. So bringing up one of my brothers, a fellow traveling man, JD Workman. JD Workman. JD, welcome to the Family Bloodline Podcast.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
What up, bro?
Absolutely. So, Dirt Wanda, what y'all got to like? What's your ease into this?
Okay, so first watching it, my initial thought was that it was staged. It was fake, and I was like, y'all act like this is some real stuff. These is paid actors. This is what they do. This is what they do. He leaned into the slap and just let light skin walk off like that. This had to be staged. That was my first initial thought.
Okay.
So I was like, so as I'm, doing what we do, you got to do your research. So I'm steady looking. I'm like, I don't know. So I'm still in between. I still believe it was staged and maybe this was the real. So I don't know yet.
Okay. All right.
Nah. I don't think it was staged. If you look at the video, we'll look at it later on. It looked like Chris was finna come back with that right. You know what I'm saying? Was finna bring it there, but he kept it professional. You know what I'm saying? I think Will was in the wrong, and we'll get into it, but I think Will was in the wrong. We'll go from there.
JD, Brother Workman, what's your take? What's your say on it?
So if I'm being honest, I think not only was Will wrong, but also Chris Rock showed how he was an alpha male and had restraint. But not only that, Will Smith could possibly set himself up for failure because you assaulted this man on a public platform where the whole world could see. So if he really wanted to, he's got a couple months to think about it if he wanted to come after him for money. Not only that, I'm not trying to throw shade or be funny, but you attacked this man for what? He didn't say anything disrespectful. He didn't say anything sexual in nature to your wife. He legit made a joke. And versus addressing him, on a commercial break or pulling him to the side, you publicly assaulted him. But my thing is, though, you're mad at that joke. But what about when your wife publicly emasculated you as a man and openly admitted to the entanglement she had with August Alsina in your marital bed? You're not mad about that, but you're mad about this joke. Like, it completely makes no sense. You're mad at a joke, but you're not mad at your wife for publicly shaming you and saying how she's been with you for years and she doesn't know what love is and you don't know how to be a husband as well as you're not good in bed.
It's interesting. Well, Manny, ¿qué pasa, mi amigo?
What up,
yeah,
man?
I mean, I hear all of that, and
he left. I didn't.
Great comment, bro. Thank you, JD, for that. That was that was definitely, you hit on a couple of topics, a couple points. Pretty sure they're gonna start addressing them in the comments as well as us. So you got
Right.
something to
Let's
say,
see
G? You
what.
ain't have no say into it.
Well, so let's lean into this just a little bit more, right? I get what my brother was saying. However, let me throw this out there, right? The situation, the entanglement, as it were, with August and Jada were two consensual adults having an adult interaction. So
Mhm.
there's a difference between being volunteering to do something, and then will also volunteer to stay there as well. So you've
Right.
got three adults that are volunteering to keep themselves to be in a specific type of situation. And I think that it's kind of apples to oranges, saying that the August Alsina thing, he didn't go to slap him, but he didn't. Like August was like, August said something like, well, Will knew about it. You dig? So I think it's a completely different situation.
I
And
don't know, cause
So they didn't have to do. I don't mean to cut you off. So they didn't have to do like no, like Chris Rock ain't have to do like no performance beforehand. So like the producers and everything could see what he had wrote. I know a lot on freestyle, but you don't think that joke was already in there? You don't think they thought that didn't cross any lines, or anything like the Academy Awards, who I'm speaking of, like, or you think Chris Rock just freestyle that one?
so
Ty need to hit that link too, so we can get him on here.
I'm
But
gonna push the link back up.
also, yeah. But my thing is, as a comedian, there's a very thin line of what you can and cannot say. I mean, if you can't take a joke, don't show up as well as sit on the front row. You know what I'm saying? He's a comedian, and that's what he do. Why are
Okay,
you mad?
let's bring Cecil through.
Come on, Big C at work too. So yeah, we got to get him on.
You ready, Cecil? You ready? I'm gonna take that as a yeah. All right.
Yeah,
What
you
got
know
on
what's going on, people. You know, Big C in the building. But
I see so.
dude, Jake, what's going on, Wanda? Dude, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like Will was wrong as hell for smacking. First of all, this supposed to be your brother. Y'all came in the game way too long as far as being actors and comedians. So for you to reach out and smack a man for speaking about your wife being bald head versus, you know, another man giving your wife the deal pickle. I mean, you wrong, bro. You wrong. Flat out.
We need to get
Yeah,
a
he
lady
got me
on
messed
and
up
talk.
this week.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got me messed up this week.
that's what it is.
All right,
Oh yeah.
You jumping into the Friday.
Oh yeah, I'm doubling into the Friday.
You ain't
He
hear
got
the
us started.
game, man.
You don't go on that. You don't go on national television and smack another black man. You know what I'm saying? They already don't want us on, doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you smack a man. But it's like okay.
He got a point. Let him finish making his point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for real, y'all came in the game together. Y'all supposed to be brothers. That's like okay, me or Dirt or me and G, talking about each other wife. But I mean, what I'm gonna smack him for? We joke all day, every day. Y'all, it's the game. It's the comedian game, flat out. I mean, I don't know, bro. I think he going through a little phase or whatever the case may be. But that still ain't no excuse for no grown ass man. I'm sorry.
Appreciate you.
If y'all want to get on and speak on the topic and
Appreciate
voice
you,
your
Doug.
opinion, go ahead and hit that link also.
Yeah, we
Thanks,
doing
Cecil.
something a
Thank
little
you for your
unscripted.
comment.
Absolutely, Big C. We appreciate you, bro.
Don't get that money, big dog.
Gonna kill it. And so here's a little bit of my pushback with that. And it's not a little bit, it's a lot of it, honestly. And the pushback that I have to that is it's quick and easy for us to say you disrespected a black man like that in public, but a black man disrespected a black woman like that in public on a multi-millionaire, billions of people watching international stage. That's what happened. Don't forget that shit.
But it was a joke. He's a comedian.
It's a joke to a certain degree. That's why he ended up, and we'll look at this a little bit later, but that's why he ended up apologizing also. So again, if just to throw things in context so we can make sure we begin to get the full concept of what's happening. So Jada Pinkett Smith has been going through and processing and dealing with alopecia, right? So she's been trying to walk through that, see how that feels, especially in her industry, especially how that would affect her job, so on and so forth. Last year, her daughter Willow was like, "Why just go ahead and cut it off?"
But here's the thing: Jada has been rocking short hair before it was even cool. She's been doing her short hair for a long time. So now that it's a medical issue or whatever, why is it a problem now for it to be talked about?
I think it's a problem. Go ahead, Dirk.
I was just gonna say we already know all good jokes contain some truth to it. So
Yeah.
so you know what I'm saying? Without it having a little, it just went like Alice said earlier, you know what I'm saying? He just made a reference to a bald head, you know what I'm saying, versus it wasn't no he ain't come out there and attack it like Tasha K or nothing, you know what I'm saying? He just called her, you know what I'm saying, Jane too, waiting on it.
We got two people in the waiting room. We got Ty and E-Cast, the producer, also known as the man, the myth, the music, Manny Lugo, coming back. But let me state this also. We don't know the internal struggles, right, of Jada having to deal with her actually having this disease. We don't.
Correct.
So regardless of whether or not she was fine with having short hair, when she wanted to grow it, she couldn't. It was taken away from her. So now that's a completely different dimension of having to deal with, that type of thing. And then her.
But you said it was because she wouldn't be accepted by how it affect her job. She's had jobs with her short hair as well as with her long hair. So I don't think either way it matters, because even with her short hair, she can rock a wig.
I think it very much so mattered to her, and it still matters to her. And she's expressed that to Will, which is why he was able to recognize the hurt and the disdain that she felt when the comment was made, when the joke was made, which is why he responded the way he did. Let me hop in. Let me pull Ty in, and then Manny, we're gonna get on you. So just Ali D, just as a quick point of reference for wigs as well as weave, it's been proven that women who wear wigs and weave for a prolonged amount of time are generally will begin to suffer from alopecia.
He did laugh first. He did.
A lot sooner or later. So yeah, he did laugh first. But all right, Ty, here we go. You ready? You ready? We got to see the face, Ty. We got to see the face.
Come on, man. Put that bird game, man. Bird game.
And there go my hands from Cuz. In the house.
How y'all feeling, man?
Great, man. Yourself?
I'm good.
State your piece.
So we touching up on this topic, right? Which is
Absolutely.
Question for the night. So you gotta look at it from both points. I feel like Will Smith was wrong and Chris Rock was wrong. I'm gonna start with Chris Rock, due to the fact that Chris Rock, sometimes these comedians can get out of hand. They can say things they really don't mean, or it's just a spirit of the moment. They just want to make people laugh, and they just forget the emotional parts of some of the comedy that come out their mouth. So I feel like if that was something that was that's something he probably could have, kept out of it. I mean, you would have came with a different joke, something else other than something so serious.
Towards Will instead of Jada.
Yeah, due to the fact, maybe something about Will. Maybe that'll be a little different. Okay, come at Will about maybe the August situation or something. At least it's about Will, But like I said, with all the things Jada Pinkett is going through, and that's an emotional thing to touch on, and you did that on national TV. I mean, you got to think.
But people forget though that Jada and Chris had history with the Oscars before.
Yeah.
So that was another thing too. So this probably something that's been boiling for a minute.
Right, because they did mention something about 2016. Chris Rock something about Jada. So this all could have escalated from that point. So at the end of the day, I feel like Chris Rock was wrong for that. Now to Will, you gotta look at it from the standpoint he's a man. He's been going through a lot anyway, off the scenes.
Because of her.
And behind the scenes because of her, all the things they're going through, the entanglements and the things with August and just everything, all the emotional things he's going through. So from that standpoint, yeah, he did laugh. But once he looked over at his wife and seen her emotions and
disgust on her face,
yeah, he said, okay, now I have to jump into my husband mode.
So why he just didn't yell?
But I feel like she was only disgusted because it was Chris Rock who said it.
From his seat.
She was only mad because it was Chris Rock who said it. That's the only reason why she was mad. If it had been I feel like if it had been DL, if it had been who else, anybody else, Steve Harvey, anybody else who said it, she would not have got so upset. She probably would have laughed too.
I think he should have just yelled. He could have just said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," like he did. You know, I feel he could have did that. But go ahead, Ty. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Right.
Didn't mean to cut you off. Apologize.
Good. Or he could have pulled a Kanye move. He could have went up there and grabbed the mic and said what he needed to say.
And I thought that's what he expected to happen. I think that's what Chris Rock expected to happen. Hence the lean in, right? But Will didn't come with an extra mic. He came with them hands to bless one side of his face. Slap.
Right. So, he took himself back to Philadelphia times, you know?
Right.
But like I said, you're on national TV, a platform. I mean, it's embarrassing.
He was in Hollywood longer than he was in Philly, so I ain't using it as no excuse.
It's embarrassing though. It really was embarrassing, and I'm happy that they both came into agreement. They both apologized to each other. And,
correct.
It's a good look on our culture, you know, for them to apologize. Because if you leave it like,
I mean, for it even to have a situation where you had to apologize, though, come on now.
We all make mistakes.
Well,
we're human beings. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, and I disagree.
Hey, everybody that's just now joining us.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate y'all for hopping in. We're posting a link, so if you have something to say, you can hop on. Give us a few.
I need a lady to get on. I need a lady's point of view.
I'm looking for a lady, but until
we just straight.
But I know y'all got some more people that need to hop on, so you know I'm gonna hop off. You know,
man.
But
appreciate the time.
With y'all, family club, I'm in tune with y'all. You know,
we just had ladies night. Where my ladies there to represent?
Love you,
I know y'all got something to say.
That's family from the Shy right there. That's family from the Shy. So I don't want people to like do this, and I think it's a lift and shift, and it's a wrong movement to make. If you say, well, Jada is the cause of all of his concerns and his issues, I disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. And the reason why I disagree with that is because Will can always remove himself from that situation.
Correct.
Will has decided to stay in that. So with that decision comes consequences. So it's not just Jada, it's Will also.
What I'm saying, like, go ahead, cuz I'm bad.
That was it.
Put that lash back on and come on.
But like that Red Table Talk, her show, Will got ambushed on that show, bro. When she broke the news about everything, he got ambushed on that show about that. And that was the start and the extent of everything that it stimulated up to now, you know, or it escalated up to now, I should say, you know.
I think that was just a continuation of the initial movement of frustration, which probably made itself again manifest in the actual pop. But
this is, I don't know, but
what you got, Manny? What you think?
No, you wasn't ready. Man, we can finally fade out the Batman and Robin slap for that. But I can
love the Batman and Robin slap, man.
I can definitely sympathize with all sides. You know, obviously, this goes back to, you know, an ongoing situation with the family, right? Mental health is a big thing with that, you know, and comedians, even though they be laughing all the time, you don't know what they're going through their heads. You know, sometimes they don't freaking think, and that's the thin line right there. And I'm with Dirt. They didn't rehearse that, you know, to make sure that they actually, you know, not doing something they're not supposed to. And I think that's wrong, you know, because as you know, Jay, you as a performer, as an actor, you need to practice and have people validate your stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think it was kind of unfair on all sides, but I also understand Will from the man's perspective and the culture wise too, because I mean, man has been pushed and pulled for just entertainment forever. And the brotherhood community, you know, as black and brown, we suffered the most. We suffered the most because we have to withstand all BS of people and just try to laugh, ha ha ha, because I need to get someplace. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the first time that Chris Rock crossed the line. So
it ain't gonna be the last either.
it ain't gonna be the last. But guess what? Now it will be. Trust me, I'm sure that he's not gonna mess with Jada no more or him.
Yeah, I think he's done with that.
Yeah, he done. He probably done messing with both of them now. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
I tell you right now, this definitely ties up with all these years, because for the past 5 years, Will has gone through a lot of shit. A lot. That family has gone through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And people think that just because they're millionaires, they're not humans. They're human beings just like everybody else.
Yep.
They go through struggles. They go through all sort of the difficult times, and that was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, but hey, everybody said, no, he was wrong. He was wrong. But until you're in that situation, you can't tell what the hell you can do.
I'm saying, if y'all finna tell me I'm finna get nominated for an award and Chris Rock finna present this award, you don't think there's no comedy aspect to it? You don't think he got nothing to say comical?
I mean,
this was all this, like you said, this now that part was rehearsed. They knew who was presenting the award. They knew how it was going down. You know what I'm saying? So come on, you got to know that some part of that was going to be some type of comedy,
And so I'm pretty sure that there was, and I know there was an aspect where when Will was like reiterating, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, right? That wasn't done on accident, because clearly he's had to tell him this on multiple different occasions. And since you can't hear me say it, that's not what you understanding. Well, then here's the physical manifestation of me saying it. And now all of a sudden, okay.
But that's the problem, Jig. I think that was after the fact.
Yeah.
It wasn't right. If it was before the smack, then guess what? That probably been not escalated.
That's what I was saying.
He probably would have apologized right there and then.
And
guess what? It was after the fact.
But that's kind of. I think that's kind of also like us trying to tell people how they're supposed to react during an offense.
You can't, Jig, you've been in the military for so long. They can teach you so many things, right? So many things. I'm sorry, I put myself on that position, right? You can train a gazillion times, right? But until you put that stuff in practice, it's not worth it.
You don't know.
It's not gonna be worth it. So you can be the most peaceful dude, but if you don't actually really practice it like that, like he's saying, I'm the guy of love, but I mean, God knows how many times he's been through this same situation and he's had to hold back, So it was just a moment, period.
Okay.
I mean, I think that would have been Mel Gibson or I don't know anybody else, any white guy. I think he would have probably slapped him too, because he had another situation.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yes, he would have.
I don't think
so. Y'all don't know about Will Smith,
but
he's
he did.
An equal opportunity slapper. He slapped white guys before.
But he's did exactly.
He's through to slapping the shit out of people. Make no mistake. Go look it up. Go Google how many people Will Smith has slapped.
He slapped somebody for trying to kiss him once, but that was like overseas.
It's happened multiple times.
So,
but outside of that, I think
slapping people.
Correct. I think it was just that person though. Like it wouldn't have been like you said John Travolta. Or you said who you say John Travolta? You said Mel Gibson. No, I'm talking about like another comedian.
I'm just saying, some other.
Yeah, I was just saying if another comedian would have gave that award, I don't think it would have been no issue. Saying the same jokes, I think it was just Chris Rock just hit too much at home with it being him,
and that's why it was an issue.
And his wife did not. She denied it. It was disgusting to her. She not like it. So. Big Willie had the, go do the catwalk.
Man, and I mean, it's a hard situation. Period. It's a complicated. I love Will Smith, and I find it to be one of the most inspiring guys of this last 30 years.
got his book, and I absolutely love it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but well, you see, and unfortunately, I mean, that's not gonna change the way I see him because I'm a human being too. You know.
So it's a human moment when we crack, or is a human moment when we, you know what I'm saying, just
Keep it together.
act out of impulse? What is it? Is it a crack or out of
It's
impulse?
both. It's
Yeah,
both.
It's
Because
both.
look at Chris Rock had
I got you.
the
Ask
opposite
360,
reaction.
I got
You know, he could have answered back, but the shock, when you go into shock of something, you know, you like, oh crap, I didn't expect this to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's both.
I don't know, because I was like, that's the same thing I said when I was having a conversation with somebody else. I'm like, how long does shock last?
Oh, it can last for a while.
I was like, bro, ain't no way
can
I'm
last-
staying
it
there
can
in
last
shock.
for a
I'm not. I'm like,
It-
no. And you ain't
I
just
don't think
finna
he
run
was
up
in
on
shock.
me
I-
After he
and
said
you're
Will
not just
Smith
finna,
smacked the shit out of me,
like,
he just kept the show going. He just kept professional. He just kept the show going.
right,
He
like
said
he just,
Will
I'm
Smith
like,
smacked the shit out of
bro,
me.
ain't no
Damn,
way.
what am I supposed to
Nope.
do? The dialogue then changed on the prompter. You know what I'm
And
saying?
Okay, give me
you
a
ain't gonna
second
even
and
run
I'll
away.
respond
You
to
just
that.
walk
Go
away.
ahead, Phil.
We got 2 other people
Away?
backstage.
No,
Manny,
you can't
Okay.
even walk
I
away
can't-
from
hey,
slapping
the
me.
man, the
All
myth,
right,
the
Manny.
music, Manny
Thank you,
Lugo.
Manny.
He cast the producer. Hey, thanks for rocking with us again, bro. I appreciate
You
you.
are definitely not
Much
gonna walk
love.
away from punching me in the face. You're not gonna walk away from me. You ain't jog or nothing. You're not walking away from hitting me.
What up,
Good
fam?
evening,
How we
everybody.
doing? Great,
All right,
great,
how you all doing this evening?
great.
Hey,
Yourself?
Man,
Okay, great. My only thing with this is I think that as a culture, we are becoming overly sensitive to being empathic or empathetic to each other to the point where we're excusing bad behavior in some ways. Now, Will Smith, he's what, in his 50s? So it's
yeah.
not like he's some impulsive 20-something-year-old man who felt like somebody was bullying his girlfriend and he just hopped on stage. No, he's a grown-ass man.
Right.
He knows better. Now, to be fair to him, it is unfortunate that he's been the subject of ridicule for over the last year and a half, 2 years
since
almost.
COVID. Like he's been COVID.
So
Been
since
COVID
COVID,
entertainment
so
for
since
a
COVID,
while.
between whatever else he had going on, but most importantly, the whole entanglement debacle that was, yeah, he's been the subject of ridicule for all this time. And yet, pressure busts pipes. And that's why when we saw this whole thing unfold, let's just be real. The only joke was about her having a bald head, right? But this is still fresh after the whole country was enjoying Black Panther and seeing those Dora Milaje women, and you had women all over the country, all over the world, literally shaving their heads, saying "Wakanda forever." So
Lupita was sitting right behind her. You know what I'm
so
saying?
so if we sit there and entertain that nonsense about it being about alopecia, then we are actually enabling that narrative and excusing that bad behavior.
I absolutely disagree with you. I absolutely disagree with you. Being okay with and celebrating a movie is completely different than dealing with and celebrating a medical condition. And to boil the two down and try and make them similar is very disingenuous to the person who's experienced. Hold on, I finish it. It's very disingenuous to the person who has to deal with this thing on a daily basis. And if you can look at a person, if you have an experience with a person that actually has to go through this, especially as a Black woman that identifies with their hair being a part of them, right? With that being some of their expression, regardless of when they want to grow it or not, and say, well, you might have just been doing it for a movie. I think that's a cop-out. Like, the reason why I agree with Will slapping dude is because, listen, if you're going to disrespect, the place you disrespect me or my people is going to be the exact same place I deal with your ass from.
Okay. Well, let's follow that same logic. Yeah. If we go by the same logic that you just had, D.L. Hughley would not have a career, Eddie Griffin would not have a career, Bernie Mac would not have had a career, Dave Chappelle for sure would not have had a career. So many other comedians, George Carlin, you name it, Rodney Dangerfield, none of these people would have had a career if we just say, oh, well, this is off. We can't talk about that. And even with And even with alopecia, it's hair
But
loss, brother.
you just saying, just talking about like Ornez J. You know what I'm
It's hair
saying?
loss.
He got popular on Richard Pryor, all these guys. Like he's saying to what he's saying, testament to what he's saying is, it's nothing really off guard in that community realm. You know what I'm saying? Especially that old school, like we talked about Will Smith age. Chris Rock is the same age. He come from that old school era. You know what I'm saying? So,
and we cannot use that to justify being violent against each other.
No, I disagree.
We cannot justify that.
If you are saying that as black people we can't be violent with each other, you're not American.
No, what I'm saying is that we cannot use culture to justify being violent against one another. We cannot justify feeling insulted or getting your feelings hurt as justifying
that's what it
is, especially within that arena. That was one of the most so-called historically most prestigious events in American history.
Mm-hmm.
We participate
in the same format every year. It's the same format every year. They got comedians. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We have comedians who are paid to do exactly what Chris Rock did every single year since the Academy's inception.
Yeah.
So Will does not get a pass just to go slap somebody because he feels offended or he feels like his woman is offended. That is not protection. This man did not lay hands on Jada. This man did not drag her through the muck. And even like he said, once Will stood up, I could have said something harder. That was something easy. What, talking about a bald head? No, that does not justify Will getting up and putting his hands on somebody. Because the moment we justify that, then any other comedian is no longer allowed to say what he wants to say on stage for fear that he might offend somebody on the stage. He might offend somebody online. He may offend somebody however you want to put it.
All right. So let's go back and think about what you're saying, because every last one of those comedians that you was just that you spoke of was absolutely attacked. Dave Chappelle being the latest example. Look at how the trans community tried to literally cancel him over something that he was actually trying to help.
They put hands on him.
I was quiet for something that they didn't like to hear. They tried to cancel him over that. Regardless of if hands were laid or not, they still tried to do it. Now, here's another aspect. How many dudes you know growing up or girls got laid out because they took a yo mama joke too far? So let's talk about the culture, but let's talk about the culture in all of its dimensions.
But it's because dude couldn't take that mama joke, so he got in your face.
How many of those people have put their life on broadcast for the entire world to indulge in? See, that's no. See, that's the part you keep leaving out. These people lay their lives out there. They open themselves up to ridicule. This is not Leroy and Tyrone around the corner getting into a fist fight because one of them talking about his old lady in the street. No,
but Jig hit it on the head though. He couldn't take the mama joke too well, so he got up in Chris Rock's face, and then that started the altercation. Not because of the joke, you know what I'm saying? Not because of the jokes. The jokes out there, we call that flaming. You know what I'm saying? He flaming your ass. You know what I'm saying? So your ass cannot take that. Will was out there laughing. He can't take the flame. So then people start getting in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when the altercation started in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's violence.
It's still violence. It's still assault.
So let me go on record being the only one that's 100% American with my profession that's absolutely okay with violence when it's needed. I'm a Malcolm X type of motherfucker.
But would you say that somebody hauled up and slapped you in the face? Would you say the same thing?
Absolutely. So what y'all are doing is y'all are saying that you get to prescribe the consequences of somebody's actions. You don't.
Why do we have laws? Then what's the law for?
If Chris disrespected Will or his wife, you don't get to say what is, what can, and what should to happen after that point. He crossed the line. He gets whatever's coming to him.
He
That's what
crossed
the
the line.
law is for.
Tell us where he crossed the line at from the joke. Tell us where he crossed the line at.
So what clearly, from what we can see and what we surmise, rather, the line was crossed when Chris put Jada's wife name in his mouth and used it as a G.I. Jane joke. Because that's what sparked it. That's what sparked it.
So what justifies the violence?
This is simply a page out of the gentleman's book if you don't know that. If your wife or if your woman is being disrespected, there are
We
dudes that
live in a
literally used to
culture
die.
based off of laws. We have laws in this country too.
And you pay.
You don't get to just hit somebody just because you feel disrespected. That's why we have
I disagree.
You gotta take that up with the Constitution.
There are men that have raped women and got off with a fucking hand slap. Don't give me that. This is a law type of society.
Women. So you go to a
Come on now, that's a stretch.
Okay, let's take it back.
This me where I'm at, Julie. This me. You go to a comedy show and y'all sit in the front row and somebody get to talking about your wife. You gonna get upset?
Well, that's hard for me to answer. But more than likely, me knowing me and me knowing my
going to a comedy show sitting up front.
More than likely, me knowing my personality.
You just gonna get up and punch the comedian in the face.
That's how I feel about this event. With a comedian presenting an award, you know what I'm saying? You getting this roast, you getting this flame, you getting something out of this from that's why I keep going to the comedic realm. And that's why I was like,
I am loving this dialogue.
So was this a comedy show though? Or was this the Oscars?
I mean,
with a comedian presenting an award?
But was it a comedy show or was it the Oscars?
Every year they hire professional comedians to do the exact same thing Chris Rock did.
Everybody that hosts the awards. So with them hosting the awards, it's a comedic aspect of it. They ain't just sitting there reading off names. It's comedic aspect.
Because there has to be a level of entertainment. There has to be a level of entertainment that transpires. What I'm saying though, at the root of it, right? There's several different dimensions I'm looking at this in. One of the dimensions that I'm looking at this, and I'm gonna bring you on in a second, Stan. One of the dimensions I'm looking at this in is we've been hearing how we don't protect our women, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get a brother that gets
I was just about to say something about
he
that.
He does that, and he's not supposed to do it. You know who else is saying that we're not supposed to do something a specific way? Everybody that disagrees with BLM. Everybody that disagrees with every way that we've processed it in this historical movement and experience of America. We're not supposed to do the things the way that we're supposed to do, right? We're also seeing, right, whatever stressors that have impacted Will over the course of the last 2 years, stemming directly from the entanglement, being a movement, and again, a manifestation like, you finna be the guy since nobody else wanted to listen to me. I'm finna have to give you these snippety paps.
Okay. But now you get into dysfunction because there are limits to even protection. There are limits to everything. And that's what we have to realize. Hold on. Now, if you want to say he wanted to protect her, then fine. He could have given a rebuttal. He could have given a criticism of his own. He could even given a verbal threat if he wanted to. That does not justify him getting up here and laying hands on that man.
Go ahead.
That is still assault.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ass 360 Smooth.
Thank you, Smooth. Thank you, sir.
So
you got to come back on the podcast, bro.
Well, hey,
rock with us, man. We appreciate all. I'm seeing a lot of new names out here, man. We appreciate everybody coming through and rocking with us. Please continue. We thank you.
So
sure, y'all have a good one.
You too, sir.
Thinking about it though, as a woman, if me and my man are out to dinner and we walking past, we hand in hand, and you know I'm with this man, and some dude yell out something disrespectful, if my man don't say something to protect me or do something to protect me, I'm looking at him sideways, and that's just me. I'm like,
see, that's different for me because when me and my lady been out, you know, I done got plenty of free drinks from other males buying drinks from my lady, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? If I'm walking with my lady and somebody be like, damn, baby, why you with him?
Just no, I'm not saying it like
what you talking about? I'm sorry.
Something like he will
disrespect.
Say disrespectful. felt like he was being disrespectful. I mean, either like rather than disrespect. I mean, disrespect is disrespect, regardless of how it is. So
And I think that's what people feel that, Jig. I think people just feel like it wasn't disrespectful. Not opposed to him standing up for his wife or whatnot. I just think people just think that it wasn't that disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't say nothing harsh. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying that we don't know what they feeling and what really stimulated that slap. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know.
I know women that literally go through this on a daily basis, and it's an everyday movement to try and remember that they're still beautiful even though they have this ailment, right? And so when you look at it from those aspects of a person, literally, you ain't never heard a comedian go to any Jewish function and start talking about or making jokes about the Holocaust. Why not?
Well, we don't know. They ain't gonna pick no black actor. So that's what I'm. No, okay. So taking that into the when you hire somebody, you know what you're getting from a Chris Rock. You know what you're getting from a Wanda Sykes. Do you see what I'm saying? You know the material. You know what you get. You know what you've been paid for. So yes, you know what you get, and they will go in there and start flaming. You know what I'm saying? Because especially. Go ahead. I didn't see like Wanda Sykes. I didn't see like Wanda Sykes going there and flame everybody because she's part of every community. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. But what I'm saying is we're the only community that's supposed to fall back and continue to move our boundaries backwards in order to say something's okay and justifiable. But as soon as one of us stands up and there's a physical reaction, because even if it's in the slightest, it's the finally part for me. And finally strikes back and say, I'm not having this shit. And
but when did you have you always strike out at the right time? You done struck out, striked out, you done got pissed off and you done been like, boom, I was tripped. That was the wrong time.
Absolutely.
That was the wrong time to do that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that was one of them moments, like y'all said, like the pressure build up and everything, like the person that was hosting, damn, I'm looking over here, I see my wife's face, you know what I'm saying? They still laughing at us, you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
It wasn't more. That's what I'm saying, Jig. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't more like a standing up for my wife type of moment. Like this is fucking it.
That is not safe.
What up, Stan?
What's up, man? We ain't seen you in a minute, bro.
What's going on? Y'all have to apologize for the light issue, man. I got all this tin in the vehicle.
You driving Uber?
Are you driving?
No, man. What's going on, man?
You got it, bro.
Oh, no, man. Waiting to hear your comment. Waiting to hear your comment.
Well,
hold on. Before we do that, congratulations. I know you finna tie the knot, yeah?
Yes, sir. Right. June 25th.
Let's bring that up. Huh? Rounds of applause for that. Rounds of applause. Congrats on that. Let's fight. Let's get into it.
So I'm on. This is where I'm at with the situation. I think that everyone is judging it from just the standpoint of the 10 seconds that he went to slap dude. But what we don't know is a lot of the backstory and where dude was coming from a mental standpoint. Because in order for a man to go that far to address that and that domain, really had to push his buttons to go there. And
I feel like he risked it all.
I'm sorry?
He risked it all. Like,
yeah, I mean, in order for a person to really go there, it had to, it goes back to she's dealing with the condition. We don't know the private conversation that they've had or what she's battling with. We don't know that. Nobody.
Chris Rock don't know that. Chris Rock don't know that.
Saying? So even in the criminal element, as the last gentleman brought up, there is a piece of it's called passion, and that's acting at the moment of the actual crime and what you're doing because of how, you know what I'm saying, where it put you at mentally. So we don't know where that put the man, where it put him at mentally in that, because men are supposed to provide and protect. And he was doing his job with that in his the way that he do it. We may not all agree with it, some may not. But that's his choice in doing that.
So I'm gonna say to you, Chris Rock wasn't doing his job.
Oh yeah, he was doing the job. But see, we don't know. Again, the background of it, we don't know even how much he even knew about her having that. Because again, if I think if a person knew, okay, this is kind of a sensitive situation, I wouldn't go there.
Thank you.
So it's a catch-22 situation. Like, but to judge, especially a lot of people bringing up her dealing with dude and all of that. Man, how many of y'all deal with stuff with y'all spouse and go right back and fix that shit?
Yeah.
Y'all go right back to working it out, doing whatever you need to do to fix your situation.
I wish a little 22-year-old would come up in my crib.
We don't know. We don't know.
But it's all, if he choose to deal with his wife and continue to work on his marriage, that's his choice. We can't go back and add that in there into the equation and say, well, she did this, she did. That don't matter. That happened. That happened at that time. He chose to move forward with it, and this happens now.
She on 360 now. He tracking her every move now. You hear me?
So and again, like, so the technical term for what Stan was talking about is the crime of passion. And yes, generally speaking, women get off on law if they kill their husband for finding out they were cheating and it happens within a specific amount of time. It's a crime of passion. And they lost their mind. They went and offed their husband, and the sentence, if they don't get off, the sentence is generally reduced because of the stress that the woman was dealing with when confronted with that situation.
Rebecca Street, I want to hear from you.
That's absolutely.
I know, come on.
So what I keep trying to put out and what I keep trying to say is everybody keeps saying this man is wrong, but why?
I ain't saying.
No, I think it's half. People ain't really saying he wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think we all like in this little whirlwind because like we say, like
how can you say somebody's wrong for how they feel or what they feel like they should do in that moment? Like you said, it was an act of passion. Whatever was going on was going on. We don't know we don't know if he was on a Henny before we got there. We don't know what was going on because anything could happen on the Henny. So, shoot.
Because
we don't know. And
I've been in situations with my current
we entangled for sure.
And I have literally, like, it was the smallest thing, and I was like, well, everybody finna get it. And I've cussed
Mike keep coming on.
Everybody, I know Mike keep jumping in and out, and I've cut everybody out.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing right here. He did laugh until Jada wasn't laughing, and like I said earlier, she did not laugh because of who delivered the joke. If it had been anybody else, like I said, I feel like she would have laughed too.
I don't know, and you may be right. These are the hypotheticals. All I do know is that he's the guy that said it, and he's the guy that paid the consequences for saying it. After even real laughed at it, and men can actually you can attest to this. You might think something's funny or something's appropriate or something's okay, and then you look at your other half and see, like, I know you ain't finna let this shit slide, and you like, well, wait a minute, I didn't know that you felt disrespected, but since you do, I'm gonna take that mantle on and I'm finna handle this for you.
Got you.
But see, the other thing. How many men have looked at their spouse and saw them hurt and it made them feel some kind of way? That changed you all the way around to see them at that point. So he could have laughed and the camera went away from that point, but to see your wife sitting there hurt and then to think you all may have had these intimate conversations or you seen her struggle with this condition, you know, it's an issue. It's a bigger issue than, you know, the comedian. And granted, you know, he may not have known what was what. But to see your lady hurt, that take you to they take you out of your zone and make you do something.
You said that a man's job is to protect and provide. Now, how he gonna provide if he lose all his jobs because he done hit this man on national TV on these white people?
That dude got money for decades.
How he gonna provide? I'm just saying.
Now, if it was just us, and because we would get locked up for assault for that. Make no mistake about it. We gonna get locked up for it. Then we have put ourselves in a horrible horrible situation, and those consequences might not have been what we wanted to deal with.
Ma, you don't want to get on and
Hey,
speak your piece?
Finally, some ladies.
hey,
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Where the ladies
hey,
at?
the next show is the next show should be why we don't have more men protecting and providing for their homes. But that's a whole nother day.
So
That's a
we
whole
can
other
definitely talk
thing,
about that.
and people don't look.
We can talk about it. I'm
We
with
can
it.
talk about
That might be a
that.
thing.
But I
before
think this is different than that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Hey Stan, we love you, man. Get out our
All
lives.
right, man. I'll get with y'all later. Appreciate you.
All right,
Man,
bro.
get out of here. Right on, fam.
Finally, we finna get our
Finally, some
beautiful,
estrogen. Thank you,
wonderful,
Jesus. Go
intelligent
ahead and let
cousin
him.
Ricky
Come on,
on.
bro.
Let's hear
Come
from you.
on.
Hi.
Hey, she got as strong as the woman. Look at you.
What? Yes, strong. Yes.
That's the woman next to me. Oh, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. I see you. What's your piece on this?
So I mean, I posted a couple of
Fago.
different on it, but getting back to the comedian aspect of it, I understand that they're comedians and that they sometimes, pick on people in the audience. But sometimes people do not sign up to be a part of the show. Especially like the comment I made before is like, what if you're dealing with breast cancer? You're married, and the comedian, your wife is not originally a part of the material of the show. So for the comedian to single her out and say like she's flat chested, you don't know what people are going through. And
Right.
for somebody to, like, people say like, oh, what, Jada should have been the one to smack him. But if you're a husband and wife team, like whatever hurts your wife hurts you just as much.
But is that not the risk you take when you go to a comedy show, though? That
Well, they
man
keep
just there
saying that
doing
well,
his
it's not a
job.
comedy show. Everybody, because they've been getting on us about it wasn't a comedy show.
I
But
mean, but he's a
with comedians
comedian,
in
and that's
there,
his
it's like
job.
a
That's what he's going to do.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, it wasn't. So it would be different, like if the joke came at Will, but you can kind of tell from the joke that he kind of threw that in there, like it wasn't a part of his
See,
routine. So you just took
okay.
this shot at her, and like Will probably like laughed at first, and maybe it was a nervous laugh, or maybe he found it funny. But then when you see that it actually hurt somebody, which it happens to all of us, we make a joke, but then when we see how it hurts someone, you kind of take a step back, like, dang, like that was out of control. That did cost
Right,
them.
right,
Right.
right.
Right. And that's when, and so that's where, like, actually, the last two guests then actually said that Will should have been up. He should have stood up and, well, not he didn't have to stand up. He sat down and said, "Keep my wife fucking name out your mouth." He could have said that.
You know what? And I
So
don't
what do you?
I don't
And
disagree
Go
with
ahead,
that
girl.
approach.
Go ahead, girl. I'm
I
sorry.
don't disagree with that approach. What I'm simply saying is, how
I like
are
this comment.
how are we supposed to police somebody's emotional reactions to a disrespect?
But he slapped the man and then he sat down and said that shit. Why can't he just say that shit and it would have been dead right there?
Yeah, but see,
Because
like,
he had to put something into action.
but like we're saying, like you can't.
Words are action. Words are action. Words are not action.
Not
No,
if
words are
somebody's not
words.
listening to you.
Police the
Words
ones
are
that
words. So the
Words is
action took
words.
place when you smack a motherfucker then, huh? So I can jump,
That was the
I can't
action.
jump on you without putting my hands on you, but you can smack the shit out of me because you done got offended by what I done said. Like, that's what I'm getting to.
Saying
Like,
it like
but
that,
I
but
also say,
action and words are two different things.
I mean, but
but
that's
That's all
what
I'm saying.
Will and Chris have also had tension where with the last Oscars
Yeah.
where Jada was the issue with it, and I feel like he and Will had a conversation and they were able to squash it. So to me, that's kind of like, hey, I had this
I'm gonna
conversation
touch
with
on
you.
this in a second.
To stop, bringing my wife up, and you did it again. So consequences, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it may not have been the correct consequence. It may have been an overreaction, but in his defense, you can't control what somebody's gonna do.
That's true.
You
No,
really
and you can't control what a comedian gonna do. You can't
and
control and we gonna take it from a comedic aspect because even a presenter can say something slick or say something or comical. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's entertainment, man. It's like motherfucker sitting there for 3 hours just sitting there, and the next award is, you know what I'm saying? Oh, come on, bruh. You gotta have some Somewhere they ain't got no music. They ain't got no. You gotta have some entertainment there. So
Person next to me, don't joke about me. I ain't signed up for this. I paid my $3 million.
you getting? I'm presenting the award. I'm presenting the award to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it come in at.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was the even exchange. Like Chris was there to present an award, and Will was there to present them hands.
Yeah.
This is another good one. Eddie, come on, hit that link. Eddie, get on this link. Your little comments are giving me life.
Yeah, everyone do got control of their actions.
Get on.
I mean,
So we don't. So that's what I'm telling y'all. That's not what I'm telling y'all. That's what I'm saying to y'all. Everyone, you know, we talked about all Will been dealing with. He didn't check his emotions throughout all that, and exploded through nothing. And exploded through none of the episodes or none of the
I feel like
things that's going on in his life.
He should have exploded. He should have exploded way before now. If he was going to explode on anything, it should have been more than this. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I think the reason why he explode with that is because by the time that we were learning about it, Will was already over.
I was already dealing with it. Okay.
This was in the moment. You know what I mean? This isn't like something that had happened months ago, and you know he already signed off for the guy to leave the house.
Y'all check that shit in Beverly Hills, bro.
Yeah.
Don't bring that shit to the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Academy Awards.
That ain't what we came on to watch, is it?
Don't bring that to the Academy Awards. You know what I'm saying? Hey, weird. Anyway, my bad.
Egg and MC, don't hop off. I see y'all. We got you. We got you coming up.
I know we see y'all.
I feel
like I'm glad you got on, sis. I needed a woman's perspective. I'm waiting on Maya to jump on one time and speak her speech.
Come on, Miss Maya.
Cause I think she's different than you.
That's how I say her name all the time. It's Maya.
I'm surprised Alice didn't get on. I'm waiting on. I'm gonna make my wife get on.
I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you, Ricky.
I love you.
Thank you, sir. You were awesome. Appreciate
Oh man.
that.
Thanks for the comment. Most definitely. We appreciate everything.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, Egg. Let's keep it rolling. I'm sorry.
Oh
James.
man,
okay, all right. It's Egg.
I done listened to him all weekend, man. Y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead.
Calvin.
Y'all go ahead, man.
Let me tell you this.
He looking like them damn Calvin.
Let me tell you, like, this is the funniest thing I done seen on the Oscars since 3 6 Mafia 1. Remember that?
Oh my God, yes. Holy cow.
Terrence Howard, all them came out, baby.
But let me say this. No, seriously. Every comedian, if you ever watch any award show, every comedian does what they call a monologue. And that's when they're setting the stage for what's going to happen on the show. Every single comedian hosts a show. And they roast. Let me tell you, what Chris Rock did last night ain't shit compared to what those comedians do at the beginning of a show. We just seen people run on a football field, soccer field, and get their ass tackled in 5.2 seconds. And that's why I agree with Wanda that this shit was staged. You're telling me this man walked on stage, slapped another brother, and not one damn security guard walked out?
Off.
Get the fuck out of here. Not one police officer. Live on TV, national. They already don't want niggas on there, and then to make you look good, Denzel come down to console him, and then he gets back on stage with his little speech talking about this what God wants him to do. Come on, y'all. I'm just telling you, I saw the same thing y'all saw. Then he give this old bullshit. I have a dream speech about how sorry and been crying. Right, and
don't put Martin Luther King in with that moment right there, bro. Don't do that.
King got nothing to do
with it. I'm not making shit up. He said it. Watch it. And then another reason why I think it's staged is because if you look at it again, Chris Rock kind of sticks his face out there. I didn't watch this shit all day.
So again, because I watched it a bunch of times too.
But you're telling me not one. Listen, I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with anybody, but you're telling me not one Secret Service police officer, nobody?
No.
On live national TV, not one.
Of course not. There's too much money in there for police officers and for security guards to be there.
Well, I mean, not one. No one. Now, but now you telling me these hoes have a fake fight on Love and Hip Hop, and 80 damn cameramen run out and stop it. But we get on that. Come on, y'all.
That's why I don't watch it. All that foolishness, that is scripted.
That's my point.
That is
And
true.
you telling me Will Smith so big that he can walk on stage, slap another man, and not get touched? I'm
He
not buying
absolutely
it.
is. He absolutely is. So
I'm
Will
not
Smith
buying it.
is if not one of the top 3, one of the top 5 names in Hollywood. He absolutely can. Will Smith can walk anywhere in Hollywood. And
No, I mean no security at all. And
yeah,
then what make it worse? Chris Rock goes, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. And like, what?
He kept it professional.
Yeah.
He kept it
But what I'm
rolling.
saying is, and everybody bust out laughing. It ain't one of us on this
Okay.
damn phone right now that
They
somebody
didn't know
can walk
what
up
was
and
going
slap and we
on.
gonna go, he just
See
slapped
black
the shit
men
out of
right
me.
here. Hold on
And
now.
then Will
See
said
black men right
Will
here.
said in the crowd. Go ahead, Wanda. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, if y'all was Chris Rock, I'm asking these 3 black men right here. If y'all was Chris Rock, y'all would have stood there and be like, Will Smith just smacked me, bruh. Come
Yeah,
on
it'd be
now.
exactly
Let
Wanda.
him walk
It,
No
away.
Wanda.
comment.
I'm
No
Exactly
comment.
Wanda.
Walk
It would have
away.
been some slow singing and flower bringing.
listen.
No comment.
My whole
We don't
DNA to
comment.
the
We
day
need to
I die
comment
is
because
geared
ain't
up
no damn
to
way.
fight.
I'd have
I
been like
know.
Jerry. My violent side would have came out. My rage would have came
Yeah,
out.
damn it. I'm a fighter. I fight sleep. God damn it. That's how
And
much.
and then the thing is that if he wants to slap people for coming for his wife, the media is verbally murdering his ass right now. He's gonna do a lot of slapping.
Hey,
No, he good. It's done after this.
they can't.
That's Big Willie, man.
They can't
And
touch
then
him.
go watch Chris Rock whack ass apology. Y'all, this shit so fake. This
I
fake the
don't
eyelashes
think.
and weave.
So listen. So since you said that, let me make something clear. Right. The actions of both of those men, I absolutely agree with. I agree with Will protecting his wife the way he did.
I don't. I disagree with that.
Rock. I agree
Absolutely
with
not.
Chris
Dirt on with
Rock.
you, dirt.
I agree with Chris Rock because Chris, first off, he didn't file charges.
He didn't.
Second
he
off,
want to see
he
another
took it.
black
He
man
took
get
it as
beat.
a man.
He from the Bronx. He from Harlem, whatever. They don't do that.
He took it as
Anyway,
a man. And then thirdly, in his apology, he actually recognizes and understands the point that he crossed the line, and he acknowledges that. He acknowledges.
but he didn't
Of
know,
course he
bro.
did.
He
Of
didn't know.
course
He didn't
did.
know.
I
So
haven't seen either of their apologies, and I would like to see them at some
oh,
point.
wait a minute. Go put that up. Put Chris Rock up there first.
Chris
Rock
Rock's
had a good
statement regarding last night's Academy Awards Oscars. As a comedian, it can be difficult to understand which
I'm gonna get off here, y'all.
and which ones
All
are.
right, thanks, Ed.
All right, Cuzzo, thank you.
All right, because they're right on. Last night I crossed a line that I shouldn't have and paid the enormous price of my reputation as a renowned comedian. Comedy is never about poking fun or making light of people with major ordeals happening in their lives. Comedy is about using real life circumstances to create laughter and bring light to an otherwise dark world. With that said, I sincerely apologize to my friends Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, and the rest of the Smith family for the disrespect and disregard I displayed, which was unfortunately broadcast for the world to see. I can't read that because I hope that with time, forgiveness can come from the situation and we can all be better, more considerate people in the end. Chris Rock.
Comedian is about using real life circumstances to create joke. He did not know her ball. He did not, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think
He
he knew about
resonate.
her condition.
This go back to you. This is testament to you, Wanda. I don't think he resonated with her bald head being that she was bald head from her illness.
Yeah.
She was sitting there. LaPisha was sitting behind her. You know what I'm saying? We all know she her head is shaved. You know, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? We all know her head is shaved. So even if it was a freestyle moment, go ahead.
So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with y'all, and I don't think Chris Rock's intentions
We're not disagreeing with you. Gotcha.
Were to step on Jada's toes.
I don't think it was malicious.
Yeah, maybe he didn't know the actual depth of what she's been struggling with. You know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe Will on multiple different occasions.
Lola, I said LaPisha.
Yeah, you did say LaPisha. You might have gotten confused. It's all right, cuz.
I was in the moment. I was in the moment, shit. I was in the moment. I can't be in the moment too. Let me be in the moment.
You can always be in the moment. But maybe, right? Maybe Will has spoken to him on multiple different occasions throughout the years, which he clearly has done, about letting his wife's name come out his mouth. But Chris didn't hear what he was saying, so he had to feel it in order to understand it. And at the end of the understanding, Chris Rock literally said, "I won't," in response to Will saying, "Keep my wife's fucking name out of your mouth." He finally said, "I will." Like, I will not continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew. He got it. He understood what happened.
After he got
it was
smashed.
after the fact, unfortunately. I got it. But he knew that there was something going on that Will has spoken to him about on different occasions and asked him to stop that bullshit, and he didn't. So, well, you're gonna have to, if you don't want to hear me verbally, you're gonna feel me physically. But one way or another, damn it, we're gonna get this understanding.
But as an adult, going back, so you just because I say something that you don't like, you're gonna act as a child and swing on me?
Say that one more time, Wanda.
You said, okay, these, like you said, these are 50-something men, grown men.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I said, I mean, you were taught as a kid, if somebody don't touch you, keep your hands to yourself. They can say what they want to say.
Mm-hmm. But let a white person come up to you and call you a nigga. How true is that statement at that point?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Me too.
I'm just saying. I mean, you can, like you said, you can't control how somebody reacts, but to an action.
But that's different though. That's somebody coming to you in the angry vibe, as opposed to somebody, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody coming up to you willing and intent to harm you and to, you know what I'm saying, and to say something that they know gonna get a rise out of you. You know what I'm saying? That's different. That's different than somebody talking about, "Oh boy, you got a big nose." We came up like that, flaming each other. "Boy, you got a big nose." "Oh boy, yo," you know what I'm saying? My kids, I'd be like, "Man, little ugly dude." They call me little ugly dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so they can't go out here in society and another kid come to them and be like, "Hey, little ugly dude," or "You got a big nose." They're gonna be ready to flame.
I'm not.
So if you ain't ready to flame, they ready. Put them hands up. That's what you saying. That's what another guy gonna do to them, because they can't handle that. They can't handle, or whatever going on in their household or whatever is gonna present themselves to my kid that day, because my kid out there flaming their ass because they, you know what I'm saying? Because you presented.
Actually, yeah. What you're saying, I actually agree with, because yeah, that is what's gonna happen. If you are dealing with a person, let's use this scenario real quick. If you're dealing with a kid, and we grew up, we know how this feels, right?
It was always a better flamer.
Well, it's always a better flamer. Don't get me wrong, and I got that. But if you're dealing with a kid that hops into a little flaming session, a Jonas session, but before they left their house, they didn't get to eat breakfast. Before they left their house, they didn't get to take a proper bath. Before they left their house, they didn't actually get to do their homework, and they knew what they was in for when they came to school. Before they left their house, they even knew that they was finna hop into a Jonas session. They was finna get flamed. They was finna get that.
Yeah.
For a second, it's like, okay, I'm cool. I got it. As long as the person doesn't say this particular thing, I'll be all right. But then that person says that particular thing, and then we off to the races.
Right. And then you get mauled because you didn't eat. You ain't got the nutrition this guy had. He got up and he ate. His mama made him a good breakfast. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He got good clothes on. He feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? He got the other kids feeling themselves. You know, so it's a
and it's a thing, right?
But this, that's the hood versus Hollywood.
Well, yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no is because I've got Will Smith's book, and there it is in the first chapter. He literally talks about how he's always felt from a kid from West Philly, seeing his. Hey,
Hey,
ain't seen you. Thank thank you for coming.
Right. Thanks for showing up.
Hey, Asia, hop on and let us know what you think about this. Let me put the link.
Hey, cuz I'm coming to Chicago in a couple months. I need to get I need a good massage. You know what I'm saying? You need to get on and talk about your whole rejuvenation, whatever your man, plug it in while we on here.
Hit that link, Asia.
So what I'm saying is, so in Will Smith's book, he literally talks about watching his dad knock his mom out, hitting her upside the head so hard that she collapses, and he sees the blood coming out of her mouth. And he said from that point forward, he feels like every time he does something, especially when it comes to being a protector, it's to apologize to his mother for not being able to stick up and protect her when that happened. So we don't know what people are dealing with on the inside. We don't. And it takes you reading the book and listening and understanding from that point, like, damn, man, and I think Chris knew that, right? So if you're going to go ahead and decide.
Well, we both said back, Wanda. You hear me?
If you're going to decide that you're going to get a rise out of people and you okay with that, I'm okay with it too. Just be willing to accept the consequences that come after that rise.
Well, you see my shirt, my hoodie got savage mode would have just kicked in once that nigga, once he smacked me. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. Once but I just went there.
Hey,
you hear me?
100 over here.
Once he smacked me, cousins, it would have been all off. You hear me? But I think that's where
look that would have been though if these two prestigious men fighting on the Oscar stage.
I think they're gonna be all right.
As it was.
So
it's bad enough as it is, but how much worse could it have been?
I think this actually gonna build a bond, though. I think it's gonna build a bond. It's gonna make something good.
And I want to make sure that we understand this in a little context, right? Because first off, I appreciate a brother checking another brother in front of the world that didn't look like us. I appreciate that because that's hard to come by. It was a black man checking another black man in front of a bunch of white people. If you look at it from a different lens. I also appreciate it, like for Chris Rock's genuineness.
It was genuine.
Like, and being honest about it, understanding that he wasn't trying. I don't think he was trying to dig a ditch and just like go all in.
Right.
But Chris Rock taking it, being shocked, like Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. You know. So again, I think it was, and then from the aspect of a lot of people seeing a black man stick up for a black woman. Now, here's a hypothetical, and we can deal with this for a minute, right? Here's a hypothetical. What would have been the fallout if this was a white woman, if Will was married to a white woman, or if this was a person that was trans in some way, shape, form, or fashion? What would the fallout have been at that point? I think it's completely different than what it looks like now.
I can almost agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you, cuz like I say, I didn't disagree with you, but I didn't agree with you. So I was on the fence with this whole topic. You know what I'm saying? I was on the fence because it was like, I understand, and like I didn't even get the aspect of Will, like what y'all was saying. I would think Will it was just a lot built up, and he just got in his feelings and just exploded one time. You know what I'm saying? That was just a turning point. You know what I'm saying? Because he was there, he was kicking. He knew he was getting an award. He knew he was finna celebrate. He knew he was having a great time. But then he looked off at his wife, and it was like, ugh.
Yep.
You know, like, okay. I mean, he could have said worse things, guys, because my sister sent me a joke. And it was like, it said, if Will is this mad in March, imagine how mad he'll be in August.
They better stop. Y'all better stop. I can't
get it out, Wanda. Get it out, Wanda. Get it out, Wanda.
This is her face directly after the joke was made, and this is Will's face.
She hated it.
After. She immediately felt it. And if you see the young lady in the back behind Jada, she looking at Will like, my man, I can see the back of your wife's head, and that tense look ain't all that good.
Hey, I want to ask. I want to ask. I want to ask Tariq to put out the second joke because I only heard. I thought he repeated that joke. I apologize. I thought he repeated that joke. So tell us what the second joke was, if it was.
At the end of the day, it was still jokes. I mean, and you, like you said, you cannot be mad at how somebody reacts to your actions, because your actions were your actions and their actions are going to be their actions. Now, his actions have caused for him to get smacked, and now they've been talked about for the past 24 hours. I mean, so where is the lose in this?
Yeah, and again, like I think this goes back into if you're going to ask us, to protect you, don't tell us what that's supposed to look like. Sit back and watch the show.
I feel you.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't come on here. If you say, baby, look, this is our relationship. You got to be the provider. You got to be the protector. You know, you got to be a man. You got to do that. You got to do that. And
say it with your chest.
Yeah, I'm with that. I got that, and I'll do that. What I don't need you to do after the fact, once I go check a dude, check a motherfucker, and, well, I don't think you should have done it like that. No, shut up at that point. I don't need your input on how I did it. I did what I was supposed to do. That's all that matters. Sit back and watch the show. You have no input on how I do this. You know my attitude. You know my temperament. You know where I can go. But you asked for me to be that person for you, so let me do that.
Gotcha.
Was it Regina King or Regina Hall that made a joke? Because I didn't know Regina King.
Regina Hall. She said Regina Hall. Thank you, Sharif, for that.
Alonzo.
Regina King.
Is that Zoe?
Oh,
is that who Alonzo is? Is that Zoe?
Yeah, that's Zoe.
Okay.
I didn't know that Regina King had made a joke. I needed to look that up.
No, I don't think it was Regina King. It was Regina Hall. Let's get our Reginas right. Was it Regina King or Regina Hall? Which one was it? Because I didn't watch it. I just saw because I didn't think Regina King was there. But I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch. But
hey man, tell Eddie to get on one time before we get off the earth. Because he had a lot of comment, man. Get on, Eddie. Hit the link, cuz. Speak your piece. Look at Rick.
You can't tell Superman how fast he's supposed to be flying after he swoop in and get your ass.
He the Flash.
So what you're saying is like if you and your girl out and a dude disrespectful and you punch him, she like, babe, you didn't have to do that. All you had to do is, we just walk away.
Don't do that.
You don't want to do that.
No, I'm with Jig on that. Don't do that. Because they didn't already went too far and we didn't already. Don't do that.
If it's escalated to the point where I got to be like, hey, my man, look, we finna have an issue. At that point, ladies, again, when you see your dude at that point and he's being your protector, you step back and you watch the show because he's in a completely different element. And everything that's coming at him at that point, from that point forward, friends, families, lovers, and everybody else is an enemy to the state. And he's simply trying to get to something to destroy it. So don't get in front of him.
But I'm already telling you, the woman already know in that moment who she dealing with.
Yeah.
She going to look for their peoples, you know what I'm saying? Or, like she can step back, but she already know. She know what she dealing with in that situation and that person, with that person.
We don't want to see the person that we love in trouble, going to jail, or worse. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. So it's like, you know what? Thank you for standing up for me, but there's a better way we can handle this. Let's just walk away.
We're looking sexy when we go out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all, Wanda. But what I will say is that people in hell want ice water. So if you want something, I got it. You want something, you want the protector. But you, just like with women, we can't control certain things that women do. If we're asking the woman to be the woman and be this and be that and be the third, we've
So what if y'all
got to
you in a
step out of y'all,
situation?
allow you all
Okay, go
to
ahead.
be.
We in the
I'm
club
just saying, and
and you
allow the woman
go
to be
ahead, Dick.
that, and then
There we go.
trust the
Finally.
woman be who she says she gonna be. There we go. Is
There you
Swoonie
go.
Love
It's the
Ladies.
Man, speak
plan.
your piece, man. You been in the comments all night, cuz. Speak your
Because
piece.
MC,
I
you gonna
really
come back
don't.
up?
I really don't have much of a piece. I just you can't control how someone reacts to what you do, but you can
Correct.
always control what you do to make someone react. So
That's what I was getting at.
that you saying that the slap was okay, right?
Yep.
Would it have been okay if he just pulled out a gun and shot him?
Now you're talking about an extreme.
That's
Well,
extreme.
no. You can't tell him what's extreme and what's not extreme.
Sure.
Like
So
to
if
you, it's
that's what,
extreme. To
okay.
Real, that could have been
So
his reaction.
if that's what he chose to do, well then yeah, that's what he felt like he needed to do.
That's what he felt how
Go
he
with
needed
it.
to protect his woman,
Absolutely
right?
go with it. Yep.
So
Absolutely go with it.
so one violence is not less than another violence, but
No,
that's
I'm
not
not saying
okay.
that.
To
I'm
you,
not.
that's an extreme is an extreme. We're saying the slap was extreme, and you're saying it was his reaction. He just checked him.
Right.
It
So
was an extreme. You
so
can if you can't check a man with your
away.
words, you ain't trying hard enough.
I'm not
I didn't
moving
check plenty
away.
of people.
I'm not moving away from the fact that he slapped him. I agree with the slap. Do I agree with somebody being shot? Absolutely not. And I would say that. But in the same breath, I'm not also marginalizing how I think he should have reacted. And that's what I think you're doing. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have reacted. I'm not putting a limit on his reaction. What I am simply doing is saying, did he slap him? Absolutely. Now, if he would have pulled out a gun and he shot him, he's got to pay the consequences for those actions also.
He should pay the consequences for the slap as well.
That's what Eddie's saying. Violence is violence. Like that's what they get into with your statement, Jay. When you said that I'm American, you know what I'm saying, or I'm in America, so violence is violence, you know what I'm saying, and that's what we dealing with in St. Louis. Violence is violence. Everybody that can't deal with an altercation or can't deal with a situation, violence kick off. So
like, all I'm saying
violence is not violence. You know
I've
what I'm
heard
saying?
worse jokes than that in a cafeteria before breakfast. You know,
Oh,
like
I have also.
Like,
right.
Come on, man.
Hell,
I've been the
told
butt
worse
of plenty
jokes
of
than that.
jokes. You know what it made me? Better at telling jokes.
Absolutely. I've told worse jokes than that personally.
But that's an era though. That's a different era. That's why I was getting at that generation. That's what we grew up at. Like the kids nowadays, they ain't with that. They ain't joning. They can't handle. They got so much pressure outside of everything else.
But we're not dealing with today's generation. We're dealing with guys that are older than us. So again, Eddie, in the same vein that you're talking about, and even when it comes to consequences and actions, do I think that he should have put out a gun and shot him? No. But if he would have done that, he would have done that.
All right, Cherie, I messed up 2 times, 3 times tonight. Y'all gonna ride me all night.
They ain't gonna let you get away with it.
He would have had to deal with the consequences of him shooting someone. That's what he would have had to do. We're talking about him dealing with we're talking about several different things, right? We're talking about Chris Rock making
it's violence. That's what Eddie talking about, violence.
Okay, so if we're simply dealing with violence, and I'll go back to my original statement, every Christian should agree with violence, because the first war, according to your religion, the first war was in heaven. So you should agree with violence, and you can't move away from it. As a matter of fact, even Jesus understood what violence was when he went into a church and he began to flip tables over. So yeah, let's deal with that, and we'll take it from every
That's different though, cuz. That's different though, cuz.
Don't tell me it's different now, because we were just talking about violence.
Man, all right. So equate the Bible, equate the hood, and equate everything in your situational lifestyle, and you smack a man.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to turn the other cheek.
It's violent. He's supposed to turn the other cheek.
Now,
no,
what happens if Rock get it?
I mean, that's what the Bible says.
But the Bible, but you just spoke about the Bible and how, you know what I'm saying? The Bible.
I was simply explaining a continuation of violence if that's what we're going to be using here.
Correct. But like we saying, but like we saying though,
you got
like
new braids, brother. Them new braids.
You ain't see them. So
They
you look
fresh.
like you slap somebody looking like Carlos.
Well, I'm finna call you Antonio Brown out here. You heard me? I'm finna call you Antonio Brown. You heard me? So like Antonio Brown, we solidified now. We got Antonio Brown on this mug. My bad,
My
cause
brother better. Shoot.
No, but
I'm just saying.
Flash over there.
I take the flash off Antonio.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think that anything like he acted the way he acted. Cool. But now he's dealing with those consequences, but he's not really dealing with like a normal person would deal with those consequences.
And that's true too.
And he won't. And that's fine. And that's fine because he's abnormal.
Who was the he? You talking
Will.
about Will or Chris? Okay.
Will. Will. Because I really don't think Rock did anything that bad. Like honestly, it was a joke. Maybe was it in poor taste? Probably. If he knew she had that, I ain't gonna mess it up like dirt. Alopecia.
Alopecia. Yeah, I got you.
If he knew,
Sheree Miller, we had one woman get on tonight. Would you like to get on and speak your piece?
That she
quick,
she had that, and then went after her. Then yes, that's a difference. But
did Chris Rock know she had alopecia? We don't know that.
To tell that joke
I mean, has
in
Jada
poor taste
worn
is
short hair in the
different.
past? Yes, she has.
I mean, I only really remember her with short hair.
We do that.
So, but that don't matter. It doesn't matter. That's how that's her. Like that's what she is. But that can't be the first joke she's ever heard about her having short hair. Like that's what I'm saying.
Like
That's all I'm
said,
saying.
it was only a problem because who delivered the joke.
And I don't think Will talked to Chris Rock beforehand. That wouldn't have been. None.
I don't think he did either.
I disagree. I disagree a little bit. And
You think they talked about that, cuz?
The reason why I say I disagree is I don't think that he like specifically spoke to the issue of alopecia. I think he might have simply said, "Hey, joke's on me, I got it." Right? And I wasn't there. We weren't there. We don't know what
we don't know
backstage. But there's still a history of Chris Rock using them to be the butt of jokes in front of
No. Chris Rock, if you look at the 2016 situation, Chris Rock used them like, damn, I'm finna be in an event, and then all these people got mad. He said it. He's like, all these people, he said, Jada got mad at me, Will got mad at me. He named out a bunch of celebrities got mad at him. And he was like, shit, me not being there is like, he was like, Jada not being there is like me going to a Rihanna swimsuit, a Rihanna panty line or something, and he's like, "You not invited."
Close enough.
So Jada wasn't invited to that incident that he spoke about. So, how you get on him about that?
So it's not that I'm getting on him about that, right? And
Okay.
I can take a joke just like everybody else. There are days, however, when I'm at the point to where I'm not finna keep taking your jokes, man. I got other things that I'm dealing with. And
2016, bro.
I mean, but
I ain't said a
everybody
joke
has
about
life to
them
deal
since
with.
2016.
Everybody's
That's
dealing with
the
life.
thing. If you're talking about me since 2016,
17, 18, 19. No, it hasn't. There was one joke in 2016. After that,
okay, so there was a joke in 2016. Jada Pinkett was also an advocate for Chris's family, right? There was also rumors that Jada and Chris had been sleeping together that he had to deal with. There was a lot of different things throughout the years, and the timeline absolutely sucks. Eddie, I'm not going to remove you. I'm just going to add Mike also. The timeline absolutely sucks, right? And then there are also events that they go to, like you look at the time that they had to actually film movies together. Jada worked with Will worked with Chris's wife. Jada worked directly with Chris as well for multiple different things. That's all I'm saying. So it's not just like a once over and we done. This was it was a progression of things, unfortunately. And if you're willing to sacrifice my family in front of quote unquote mixed company, like Whitney said, to be the butt of your jokes, when you can easily pick any of these other motherfuckers out here to do that. You
So
finna
G,
get somebody that look like us, and I'm finna
so
do that for you.
so G, we've been together for we've been together on all them joint ventures or whatever back in the day. It's 2022. It's 2021, 2020. We don't know about that. You spoke about everything up into that. We don't know about that. Can't come to me on that, bro. You can't come to me on that.
But
It
again,
definitely could have been handled better.
It's a
And that's
joke. At the end of the day,
I'm
it
not
was a
even. I'm
joke.
not even finna say it could have been handled better. I think it was handled appropriately. But I agree. I do agree with Eddie. It was a joke. But so everything there's a consequence. Literally, there's a
Hey,
consequence.
send Sharita
I'm doing it
Sharita
now.
link.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
I'll jump off of here.
I got you, Ed. Hey, thanks for coming on,
I
Cuzzo.
appreciate you,
Thank
cuz. I
you,
appreciate you. Thank you.
Spoony.
Thank you,
MC,
cuz.
what you got, baby?
What's up, y'all? Cuz
I don't even want to hear from him either. I dealt with him all weekend too.
Hey, cuz, I missed you too, cuz. I missed you too, cousin. LaWanda, that's the second time I done been up there. Y'all kicking it, but I'll catch you next time.
I was out. I was out of town.
Yeah, y'all been kicking it. Y'all been kicking it. Hey, where Fat go?
He on there.
He don't hurt. He can hear you.
Fat cuz. I'm sitting here listening now. Are you saying all this was okay because it's Will Smith?
No, he's saying it's
No,
okay because
Go ahead,
he
Wanda.
was protecting his woman. Is
Right.
why he's saying it was okay.
So just all the other shit of him being this supposed to be what you call it, an example for these other folks out here. All that's okay for him to do it then though, right? Like it's okay because it's Will Smith.
It's not okay for anybody. Hey.
Yeah, because like I was with Lil Eddie, you know, like what if dude would just so happen did have a gun and shoot the shit out of dude, then what? Cause I know for a fact motherfucker come smack me, what's gonna happen?
What up, Josh?
No, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think my point is being missed. Like there was an action that was spawned from an initial action. So there was
Fat, I heard what you're saying, but why you don't feel like dude could have just spoke like he did and like that could have been it? Like keep my wife's name out your mouth. Like why you don't feel like that was enough?
He had already done it. He had the reason why I say that is because he had already done it to the point to where I'm not just finna be this good guy. I'm not just finna continue to be boxed up and allow these microaggressions, these bullshit ass antics to continue to happen to me and people be okay and I allow it to happen. At some point, everybody has a breaking point, and that might, and it's always the smallest thing, and you don't know where it's going to come from.
It's
you don't
always the smallest thing.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what, and that's what brings me. I literally think that Will was on the Henny before he got there. It ain't no way he just went from 0 to 100 like that. He
No way in hell.
on the Henny. He had
No
to be
way
on
in
that,
hell.
on that brown because it goes down on the brown. Hey,
I don't disagree with you on that. Miss
I'm
Miller,
just saying though, I don't think he nobody different. I mean, he got money, but outside of that, you know, why his consequences got to be different than ours?
Well, because you actually
well,
said
because Chris Rock didn't press charges at this point.
Because like dude really made dude look like a bitch on TV too.
He's not pressing charges. He already declined to press the charges.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I'm like, yeah, I had saw that earlier. I'm like, he's not pressing charges, which is, I mean, that's commendable for him because if it was me, lock his ass
fuck
up.
that. Let me press charges.
He
And me and my
lock his
lawyer finna
ass
come up with that
You
figure
got me
you finna
messed
pay
up.
us.
You got me
He's
messed
not
up.
gonna press charges because there's a long history between them. That's what people
Because
are
I gotta
missing.
go, gotta get the other dog a bath. I'll see y'all later.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Where's Sharigo? Okay.
Okay, I guess I'm back. I don't know how to unpause. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Okay. It's a long history between the whole situation because there was a conversation what Dirk was talking about earlier about Jada, because Jada Pinkett Smith was talking about boycotting the Oscars. That was
It
what
was
the
the
whole
hashtag
situation.
Oscar so white crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she was speaking about it, just like several other people were speaking about it. He decided, out of all the people that was speaking out about boycotting the Oscars, to make a joke about her. That's how it started to begin with. So Will Smith said, hey, just keep my wife's name out of your mouth, just cool. You know what I mean? That was said years ago. Okay, when that whole situation happened, that was said years ago. The alopecia thing she did, she's been very vocal about that. She did a whole Red Table Talk about the alopecia thing. There is one thing about like Regina Hall getting on there and saying something about the entanglement. That's just a joke. That's free game. But when you're talking about somebody who is going through a medical, that's the equivalent of somebody going through cancer. You don't know why her alopecia has kicked up. You don't know what else she's dealing with. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, a lot of people do a lot of talking about a lot of things just because people are in the public face. But at the end of the day, that's a whole marriage. Whether we agree with how their marriage is run or not, that's her husband and that's his wife. And his job is to be her.
Correct.
His job is to be her covering. That's his job as a husband. As a husband, you're supposed to cover your wife and make sure that your wife is protected at the end of the day. And it is baffling to me that there are so many people that just are like, no, she deserved it. Just because people make mistakes or people may not live a certain type
I
of
don't think people saying she deserved it. People are coming at the same way y'all saying that Will Smith is protecting his wife. Chris Rock was doing his job. He was coming out there on the comedic aspect doing his job. He was being a comedian.
So at that point, it was
that's
okay
fine.
for everybody else
And
to
that's
make
fine.
jokes
But let's
except for him.
look
And you
at it
talk
like
about their history. Their history was, we heard about an incident in 2016. And outside of that, we ain't heard about nothing between Will Smith and
let's not negate the fact that we're talking about Chris Rock here. Chris Rock, the same comedian who did an entire documentary about Black women and how hair affects them. So we need to stop acting like Chris Rock does not understand how alopecia affects Black women, especially when you're talking about being in Hollywood, being in.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
Come on now.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fresh out of practice. I look crazy.
No,
but I had to say this
That's the thing.
because we know, like, as Black women, that is a big thing. Our hair is a very big thing. He did an entire documentary about this, so he is knowledgeable about how that joke would have been very harmful to this. No,
He's talking about Black women from an aspect of what he done dealt with, and then
Black hair was about how Black hair when you watch
they spoke about alopecia in that segment.
They talked about how important hair is to the Black community and Black women. Alopecia is a disease in which women go bald and they lose their hair. It can happen when you're dealing with postpartum pregnancy, cancer, all different kinds of things can kick into alopecia. So when you go through, and I'm only saying this because I have several friends who personally have alopecia. So when you go into alopecia, when you have alopecia and you are missing gigantic spots in your hair, you can either walk around with spots in your hair or shave your head bald, which is what she did.
I understand that. So with the Chris Rock
to
thing,
make light of that,
this is not a light thing.
So wait a minute, no, because Chris Rock didn't make light of when he spoke about the wigs and everything that was going on and Jig, you sat back on me when I started talking about Chris Rock when he spoke about the wigs and everything and everything. Like I said, he didn't speak about alopecia.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he made light of the fact that she has alopecia by saying G.I. Jane. That's what I'm saying. He is aware of how harmful that would be because he did a documentary about Black hair, is what I am saying. That's why I brought that up.
Okay, here's my rebuttal.
But that's what I'm saying. In his documentary about Black hair, he didn't speak about alopecia. He didn't speak about a disease that plagued Like when he didn't speak about lupus, he didn't speak. That's also my mama has lupus, so that's also an aspect that deals with black women hair. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't speak about. He spoke about. It was different. It wasn't
What he
on
was
there.
talking about is the relationship that a black woman has, and I'm just speaking because I am a black woman.
But
What
I'm
he
saying,
talked about was a relationship that a black woman has
but he
with
didn't
their
know
hair,
Jada
and
had that. He didn't know Jada had that situation.
hold on. Yes, he did
Go
know
ahead.
that
Go ahead.
Jada had alopecia. But what he was speaking about was the relationship that a black woman has with her hair and how it
They
affects
both look
how
dope
she
to me.
moves in the United States of America, how she is seen, how she feels beautiful or not because of her hair, and how much weight we as a community put on women in hair. That is what the whole documentary was
That's all I've
about.
been
So
trying to say.
so he has an understanding of how that would be hurtful to make light of the fact that she cannot grow her hair.
That's
Okay, but
all I'm
here's the
trying to
Like
say.
y'all,
thing.
like we really gonna act like he didn't.
Do
Come
so
on,
much.
bro.
Okay, no, but y'all really gonna act like alopecia is the
Asses,
only
it's
thing that
butts,
get like
it's
her
stomach.
being bald. Obesity is something that people get, and if fat people get talked about all the time, ain't nobody going through all this for them.
But are
But
we? Are
what
we
I'm
Obesity
saying,
is a health condition as well.
but what I'm
It's just
saying is this lady went on the Red Table Talk and did an entire episode about how her struggles, like why she cut her hair off, the whole shebang. She
he
did a
don't got
whole
time
thing.
to watch no red table
So
talk.
so when
He got stuff to do.
but what I am saying is the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is because people are making a swift judgment about this without taking all of the components into consideration. We're
I
saying that
think
Will Smith acted irrationally. But when you think about it, this is this man's wife. Okay? He is the one that has to sit up and nurture her and help heal
he
the
did all
insecurities.
the bullshit.
Ho-
He did all the bullshit that she done brought to the table.
That's okay, but what I am talking about is
It's just
Wait. See, that's where my problem come into it.
but
Because
that's the problem that I'm having. That's the
no,
problem that I'm having. Because she has done other things, you're telling me that this man cannot defend his wife on a sensitive subject that you know that you don't know how they have worked with that.
but
That's crazy to me.
that's what I'm.
That's
No, it's
crazy,
not.
Dirt.
It's not crazy. You bring other things to the table. You bring in other things like what they dealing with and what they done dealt with, and then you know what I'm saying. And
But that does not make it okay for him to make a joke about that. He didn't get up
no,
and smack nobody else and made jokes about all those other things. But clearly
everybody
that is a sensitive thing, and we all know that it is because she did a whole episode about it and
so
about how sensitive it was for her to
now
go through that.
you came on and you said that Chris Rock knew about this. You said
Yes.
Chris Rock, how he know about this? They had an
What do you
incident.
mean? It is well known. If this was a well-known
I didn't
thing.
know until this came out. I didn't
Well,
know.
also, but you didn't. But everybody who know, you have to understand. Chris Rock and Will Smith were friends. They are
They
colleagues.
That's what
So
I'm
you're
saying.
telling me that you telling me that your friend, you wouldn't know what your friend's wife has alopecia.
No, you don't know because you ain't in the
Especially when
business.
your friend has come to you and asked you to stop having these types of conversations in the past.
No,
Like
I'm gonna tell.
they've had a conversation not one time, two times. Because the time before that, it was also a time when Will Smith was on
But
the red carpet,
let
and they made it,
me
and he
say
said
this.
something about it being on the red carpet.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, G. Go ahead.
Ignorance does not absolve you from consequence.
Exactly.
Ignorant in this situation. Ignorant.
His consequence was getting smacked. It may not have been right, but that was his consequence of choosing that joke.
No, I'm saying who ignorant in this moment.
All
So what y'all keep saying? What y'all keep saying is that no. What I keep hearing is, well, Chris didn't know she had alopecia. Chris didn't know she had alopecia. That does not absolve you.
Well, I know LaWanda didn't know. Wanda didn't know. So
Bruh,
shoot.
if I do not know a situation, how do y'all expect me to act cordial or act me to expect me to act in a manner. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know the situation.
So here's an example. Here's an example. There are several different types of citizenship, nationality, and or states righthood that you can claim to the United States. One of those is a U.S. national. As a U.S. national, you don't have to pay federal taxes. You don't have to pay state taxes. You can live on land as free as you want to, right? But you can't hold an elected official position. You didn't know about that. You didn't know about that. But that does not remove the consequences of you. If you wanted to apply nationalhood to yourself, you could. Better yet, if you get arrested, let's say you didn't know jaywalking was a thing, and you walked against a sign and you got locked up, you still get a ticket. You still get locked up. You
Absolutely.
still are held to the consequences of that law. Prove me wrong. I'll wait.
So y'all saying Chris Rock should have pressed charges then, huh?
If he wanted to, he could have pressed charges. There's nothing wrong with him pressing because that would be the consequence that Will Smith would have to deal with from his choice. But the consequence that Chris Rock had to deal with from his choice was getting smacked. That was his consequence. And then Chris Rock decided that he didn't want to give that consequence. Now you got to ask yourself why he decided that. He decided that because this was not the first conversation that has happened between them on this particular situation. That's why he knew he was wrong for that. Anybody else would have sued.
I watched the whole battle rap on Caffeine for 2 hours yesterday, waiting to watch Sue Surf and Cortez battle rap yesterday. But the whole event got shut down because of altercation. A fight in the arena. They shut it down. A lot of money spent, a lot of everything spent. They shut it down because of an altercation between the main eventer and. Come on, bruh. This is.
So what are you saying, Dirk?
I'm talking about the culture. I'm talking about the culture. I watched the whole battle rap because I'm in the battle rap culture. So I watched the whole battle rap culture yesterday, and it got shut down because of a fight. Okay. A dude on stage yesterday and smacked another guy.
And the show went on.
That's two different cultures. You're talking about battle rap, and you're talking about white America. Come on now.
I'm talking about black men. It was the black male laid out. It was two black men that got into the altercation.
It doesn't matter. It was two black men in a white arena. That's a different thing. That is a completely different thing than two black men in a black arena. That's two completely different. That's different.
It was two black males acting out yesterday on a public event, on a public event, a social event, a live event. Two black males, 4 black males acting out. What's the difference?
It was again.
It was 4 black males.
I agree with what Ricky is saying. Did y'all read what she said?
2 events.
I'll put it back up.
Down. Another event got shut down because of cultural. You know what I'm saying? Black males. I'm talking about black males. Y'all speaking on black males.
I'm just saying, you can't throw rocks and hide your hands. You can't throw it out and not expect somebody to come back with it. Like this, we done got to the culture to where people are so, like Will Smith got up there and said in his acceptance speech, this culture of Hollywood and how it's set up, they expect you to just sit there and take it. That man decided he wasn't gonna sit there and take it no more.
So all I heard tonight was how y'all done told me about how Will been dealing with everything else in the industry that he been in for 30 plus years, and he acted out tonight.
No, that shouldn't be.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
It really shouldn't.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I'm also saying that
he acted out for his black female, is what y'all saying.
What I'm saying is that there is nothing wrong with a man covering his wife. And
Right.
how he decides to cover his wife is between that man and his wife. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people talking about how he should have done it. Oh, it would have been better if he went up there and made him apologize.
And
It would have been
that's
better if he made him like, I think that is wrong. You can't tell a man how to protect his family. You cannot tell a man how to do that.
yeah. And that's my issue.
That's to me is crazy.
Yeah,
Like that's like me
that's
coming to your house.
absolutely my
No, that's like me coming to your house, Dirt. That's like me coming to your house, Dirt. Okay, and I got an AK-47. Okay, and I put it to your wife's head at your house, and then somebody say, "Well, you know, this is Cherie. You might not want to hit her in the face." You can't tell. Ain't nobody gonna be able to tell you how to disarm me to protect your
Wait a minute,
family.
but this is where I'm getting at. This is where my confusion come in at. Because y'all defending this man for staying in his relationship, knowing all the circumstances that's going on in his relationship.
That's not my business. It's not my business to pass judgment on the circumstances of any marriage. What goes on in a marriage is between that husband and that wife and God.
But that's what I'm
For
saying.
us to pass judgment on it is none of my business.
It's in the public eye now. It's not a
right. It's in the public eye, but they have chose to stay together, and that's their business.
Yeah.
I can't determine if they leave or not.
So
That's
hold
not my
on,
choice.
time out. Let's
y'all
give
make
it a break.
excuses for this man because he chose to stay in his situation, knowing that all the truth.
Hold on,
He-
Dirk.
He's able to. Go ahead.
We'll get to that. Whitney,
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Ricky. I'm sorry.
because of his situation. Go ahead.
You might be talking, but I'm finna unmute you, Whitney. I don't know if you can, but you got it. So what you got? So Whitney is a friend of mine from high school, and yeah, what you got?
Hello, Whitney.
Hi. I'm sorry, I got a little feedback here. So
You good on my
Try
end?
headphones if you. That's what I had to put in. That helped me.
I have on headphones.
Oh shoot. Oh well.
But I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm
got
glad
it.
that
You
this
go
was
ahead, Mama.
actually brought up because I think
We can't hear you.
where we're talking about the relationship, because I think that's another factor that kind of added to Will's level of tolerance. Can you all not hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
We can hear you now.
Okay, so Will was not able, I think that Will was up against a lot. Will dealt with a lot of confusion for the last, I guess, couple of years, or maybe even longer than those couple of years regarding his relationship. People have been dragging him and Jada for the longest. And I agree with one of the speakers talking about we cannot comment on what people's, relationships. We can't comment on the ins and outs of people's relationships. And one thing that I've noticed in the Black community, one conversation that we're not necessarily ready for sometimes is the conversation of ethical non-monogamy. And this couple has decided, from my understanding, to have an ethical non-monogamous relationship. And that is their decision. But so many people have decided to drag Will and Jada over their decisions. And also, I would say that the issue of the entanglement that came up, sometimes relationships can be very messy. And we see that a lot of times, and women suffer and deal with this a lot of times. Let's talk about D-Wade and Gabrielle Union. They were on a break. He got somebody pregnant. They got back together. He did not cheat. This is the same situation with Will and Jada. And they mentioned that. They had already resolved this particular issue. And then they had to get ahead of this in the media. This is what they're saying. Because August couldn't keep his little mouth shut like a child. So that is another factor that we're not willing to kind of bring into place into play in this particular argument. I'll say that Jada has an autoimmune disorder. If she was from any other demographic, it would have been just, we would have been canceling
if she was Kim
Chris Rock right
Kardashian.
now.
We would have been putting up
And
signs.
for some reason, it's okay
For
for
them.
Black women to be constantly mistreated and drugged on every single platform. And this is my perspective as a Black woman. So, you can have your own perspective. I have my perspective on it too. And like I said, it appears that, Will's window of tolerance was low. And like I said, if this is a different demographic, we'd be having a different discussion right now. And everybody would have been coming for that person that came for that woman from a different demographic of the majority group. And we all know what I'm talking about.
I listen, 10,000 exclamation points on what she just said. The Black woman is the most disrespected and unprotected woman in America, and I don't care what nobody got to say about it.
So during the time Malcolm X said that, it was true.
It's still true.
The shift in that is that the Black woman has taken a stance of independence and being a self protector, and hasn't allowed the Black men that will protect them to actually continue to do that. So there's a bit of a different nuance and a bit of a different frequency when it comes to that. And this exact situation shows that when Will is going to protect his wife, people, brothers and sisters, our culture as well as other cultures, don't like the way he did it and want to define how he's supposed to protect his wife. And I think it's a bullshit statement, honestly, because you can't tell me as a man, hey, I'm trusting you with protecting me. And when I start protecting you, I start breaking arms and limbs and I fuck somebody's life over.
I'm telling you that. Somebody telling you that. That's
exactly what's happening with Will.
No,
protecting his wife. He's protecting his wife, but people don't like the way he's doing it. So nope, you stop and you need to do it the way we want you to do it. Nope, don't you kneel and protest police brutality the way you're doing it because we want you to do it another way. Nope, don't you ride at the front of the bus because you're not supposed to be riding there. We want you to do it another way. Nope, don't you be upset with the dogs biting you because you should be strong enough to handle that shit. Nope, don't you talk about
the white people own. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what we own.
I'm not simply talking about white people.
You took it to the Jim Crow.
I'm talking about American history.
This is happening today, and this is about intersectionality.
Black males, and it happened with the black females.
Black women have to deal with misogyny, and they also have to deal with racism. And so those are two different things. Some people do not have to deal with those different things. And I would say that I am very proud as a Black woman of the ways that maybe Will could have handled himself differently. I don't know how he could have handled himself. I will say this. He did make a statement. And I will also say this too. Let's bring this into the argument. The way that Cory Booker handled the issue around Ketanji, there was another situation where a Black man stood up for a Black woman. And I'm very proud of that as well.
Yep. I posted that on my Facebook page. I was like, oh shoot.
This is man, like I say, I think this is a totally different spectrum.
It's just hard. I think Dirt, you looking at it from your perspective because you are a Black man, but as from Black women, we see it from a different lens. That's all that we're saying.
I'm taking it from another Black male perspective. I'm taking it from Chris Rock.
But the whole situation happened because of how the Black female felt.
Biased, or y'all more on the side of Will Smith, or y'all biased? Is my question.
I'm
asking
for me.
Why is it a bias when a Black woman has a perspective? Why is it always a bias involved when a Black woman has a perspective? It's okay for everybody else to have a perspective but Black women. And it's okay for Black women to have a perspective and Black men can have a perspective. Now we're talking from a Black woman's perspective here.
I never take the voice away from the Black women, but I'm just speaking on two black men interacting. That was two black men interacting.
No,
You
but
know,
what
wife,
He was
but
interacting like that over his wife,
that's what we're
over
saying.
his black wife.
If
what
the
was it?
black woman wasn't involved, they wouldn't have been interacting. So that's why the black woman is bringing their perspective into the conversation, because they were interacting based off of what was said, what emotional abuse happened to the black woman is what we're talking about. That's what she's saying.
That's what I'm speaking of. If it was a white actor up there, a white comedian up there saying things, would it be spoke on the same perspective?
I
No,
think
because Will wouldn't hit no white man.
I think it should.
White man.
But here's the thing. We don't know that.
We
because you have to understand this. We do not know what Will would have done, or depending on whoever it was. Because you have to remember, before that happened, you never heard Will Smith cuss. You never heard Will Smith. You haven't seen him be violent or any of that. He didn't even cuss in none of his music, none of his movies, none of that. So obviously the man was at a breaking point. He was all outside of what how he typically presents himself. So obviously this was touching a nerve. It was touching a soft, sensitive spot to him. So we don't know. We can't say that he only did it because it was a black person. We don't know that. It could have been. He could have acted like that with anybody.
I'm not saying it was just a black person. So if it was just damn, I lost my thought. Y'all was speaking on.
Me too, sir. Me too.
I lost my thought.
I do too.
You said, Dirk. You said if it was a white woman, if it was a white comedian up there, would he have acted like that, or would he have smacked it? That's what you said.
But I was going off of something that you had spoke on. That's why I lost my thought at, because you kept speaking.
But I think like even when we take it back, let's just take it back. Let's just bring in our good friend Kanye West. When Kanye West got up on stage,
that ain't my friend. Girl,
Kanye West got up on stage and did all of that crazy nonsense against Taylor Swift. The whole world went upside down, and all he did was say, "Excuse me, I'm gonna let you finish." And the whole world went to the defense of her emotional state, because he stepped inside her emotional state of that. This man literally disrespected.
I thought it was funny.
Like that doesn't happen for black women. We don't get that level of protection. And I don't understand why every time we say that, it's always got to be a debate about why.
No,
and I feel like it's a misconnect, because people think that things that are strong don't ever feel weak or don't ever need protection. Your bones are strong, but you still need to protect them. They can still break. Things that are strong can still break.
That's what me and Wanda speaking on. He can address that man like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh.
He did.
He felt like he did.
You had to walk. Oh, man! It took him 30 seconds to walk on stage to slack my nigga.
That's what I was saying, Zoe. I swear I thought this stuff was staged. I thought it was staged. I was like, what?
That's what I'm saying.
I swear I was saying this. I swear I was.
Take that catwalk. That's why I say it's a catwalk. You know what I'm saying? He style profile. He popped his collar and shit. He popped his collar while he walked up there.
In my head, Chris Rock would not have let somebody stole off on him and walk away.
Well, from what I understand, Chris Rock thought that he was coming up there to shake his hand or do something like that. That's from what I understand. He didn't think that he was going to actually. He didn't think he was going to actually hit him. That's why he stood there.
He didn't think he was going to pop off on him.
Exactly. That's because even if you look at the aftermath, if y'all watch the clip and you see how he interacted and how he responded, even his words were like he did not expect that. Nobody expected that was going to happen.
And that's what we saying to y'all. Like, he did not know that.
So I don't think it was staged.
Was in that state.
I'm still not convinced wholeheartedly.
I mean, it could be. We are in America. I mean,
y'all keep telling us that Chris Rock understood everything that went on that night, and we understood after that slap. Chris Rock didn't understand what was going on that
But it was
night.
kind of like it was like he was shadow boxing because his hands were like this, and then he's
Wanda.
He understood. He understood. He needed to
and he,
shut
and
the
then
hell
he
up.
like, cause it, you know, it was kind of one of these like, it was like one of those, and I'm like,
That was it.
But I think no, it's a certain level of there's a certain level of immunity that happens in Hollywood, and when you sit back and you talk about the sacrifice of what people have to deal with in order to move up in the ranks in Hollywood, they have to endure a lot of humiliation, a lot of emotional humiliation, a lot of at the expense of moving up in Hollywood. So what happens is once people get into the race of doing that,
They'll never
typically
take
people just
They'll take it out.
typically people just what you say, Dirt? I couldn't hear you.
You said race, but they'll never take it out on white people.
No, but listen, because Britney Spears. Typically, when people get into the hold on, listen, I go all day. Like typically,
Come
when
on
people
now.
get into the whole race of Hollywood and get into the whole shebang of everything, when things come out and when things said about you, you play along to get along because your career is on the line. It is very seldom that people buck against the system, and when they do, like a Britney Spears or Martin Lawrence or Dave Chappelle or Will Smith or whatever the case may be, they consider crazy or irate or out of control or all of these particular things when really the system is sick. And Dave Chappelle has said that the system is sick.
Willie good.
You said what?
Is that still a thing?
She out here. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My boy Big Willie can go and do his thing. He can go. He can drop an album next week and he be solidified. That's what I'm saying. He good. It ain't no tarnish on his record. No,
it is. His
So you
record is
think
tarnished
that-
forever because let me explain to you Will Smith's record. This is why Will Smith's record is tarnished. Will Smith's record is tarnished because Will Smith has made his entire career off of being the non-cursing, non-violent black man. Just like yes, non-threatening. Just like when you look at Denzel Washington, he chose roles and everything like that to be Dirt. You know this.
I
I'm buying his music, Rick.
I agree with everything.
I'm buying his music.
But that's his persona. That's his thing.
So what you're saying is
he
Will
good.
can drop an album, but if Chris do a
Hold on,
stand-up show, there ain't
Dirt,
nobody
hold
going.
on, Dirt. Hold on, Dirt. Dirt, hold on. Go say that again, one.
So you saying Will Smith can drop an album tomorrow and everybody gonna go buy it, but if Chris Rock do a stand-up, ain't nobody going?
Why you?
Because he got 20 allegations against him, and he only had the receipts for one.
Oh Lord. So okay.
Hey, Chris Brown and Trey Songz was at Trey Songz went to Chris Brown crib and they kicked it. You hear me?
Can we not talk
They
about
should
them?
not be in the same place
That is
at
not.
the same
This
time.
is not. That is
They
not a
should
good
not
topic.
be.
That's
I was like, what's happening here?
Horrible segue.
Where are we going?
So right. Why they had me
with those two?
My bad.
So this is the longest live we've ever done, right?
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry, y'all.
No, don't be sorry at all. A lot of things need to be
said. That's why I say put Sheree in there.
Yeah, a lot of things needed.
And now I got it right. Put her in there. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of things needed to be said that were said. But just to bring things around full circle and to get to where we are right now, like they both moved forward with different apologies and understanding where each other were in the moment, and being able to identify where they may have gone wrong in the night, and then also being able to put on a secondary movement of being able to say how it affects everybody else around, right? So I congratulate them both and the culture for being able to hold these standards and being able to talk about this and being able to exhibit this type movement, this type of frequency, right? We might not agree with everything. We might agree with some things, but at the
And
end of
it's
the
all
day,
right. That is
it's
all right.
always okay, and we have to appreciate, respect, and continue to love what we're doing and each other,
Absolutely.
because it always spills over. So, Cherie, we're gonna keep you on because you're doing final thoughts with us tonight.
Oh Lord, I don't know. Y'all didn't prepare me.
Hey, we weren't prepared for this.
I think I
Yeah.
love your people, man. Stop the evil. Love your people.
Your people.
That's my
Oh, all right. Who next?
You.
when it's out, it's true, y'all.
Oh, okay. Fine. I'll go next. All three of us. So here we go. Don't forget to brush and floss, everybody. It's super duper important. Okay, twice a day. Also, don't put your hands on nobody if you ain't prepared to get hit back.
Hey Wanda, I be flossing my teeth. I be getting in trouble because you know what I'm saying. When I be flossing, my
Hey,
chicken
if
come
you doing that, you doing it wrong, baby. You
out.
pull up and pop out. You don't stop. You don't give
Man,
yourself gum disease.
You don't go back and forth.
I got
No, what the heck? You gonna
a movement. I know how to floss, but I be getting in trouble for popping my chicken on the mirror and shit. You know what I'm saying?
wipe that off when you get out the bathroom. Don't leave it.
I get in trouble for that because I pop and I
Wipe it off. Keep the Windex up on the mirror and by the mirror and just wipe. Don't leave. Do not leave your chicken giblets on the mirror when you floss. Oh my God.
I'll be going back and forth. I'm glad you just told me to pop out. I didn't know.
You take your floss, wrap it between your fingers. You'll go up,
and
make
you
a
up.
C, pop down.
Pop.
And that's how he pops stuff on the dog.
That's when I be getting in trouble. You hear me? Because shit be popping out. You hear me? I be wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you got?
Who, me?
Tell us about your football team.
Oh, Chad, I'm so tired. I had practice today, y'all. I'm tired.
Tell us
What practice?
Football.
What?
Tell us about it real quick.
She plays for the Slam.
Yes,
I know
play
because
for-
I'm on Instagram, so I see what she's doing. But tell us about it.
Yeah, I play for the St. Louis Slam. My first game is on April the 9th. It's an away game, but we are selling tickets for a home game. Please support me, y'all. Buy some tickets.
Hey, plug that into it, Cherie. The home game.
Huh?
Plug the home games into it.
The home games are going to be I gotta
Send
pull it
to it.
up.
Do it
Send
tonight.
it to us and we'll post
I
it.
will send it to y'all, but they will be at St. Mary's High School, so Southside. But
we right down the street.
I can go.
that's right, Southside. Just roll up, pull up.
Street. You
So yeah, but I'm just coming from practice. I'm sorry I look crazy, but I was like, I can't miss this one. Of all the lives, I need to get I need to get on one that ain't coronavirus related.
now, we kept you off of that. We
That in a while, honey.
Look, because
I
you
see Corona
you get on those Rona lives with us, and then we don't see you for another like 3 or 4 months.
Cause I be needing to recharge. Y'all, I might be emotionally.
we need you
I
to say,
love y'all.
hey, you're a big supporter. You're a big supporter. We appreciate everything.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I appreciate y'all having me. But
We organize. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I got
where
your
do you buy the tickets? You buy the tickets at St. Louis Slam football.com, or y'all can follow me on Instagram at she's got the juice 72, and you can all the information is there. So she's
put it
got
in the comments.
how I do that.
Just type it in the comments and we gonna get it. We gonna handle it from there.
All right, yeah, I'll put it in there, y'all. I'm sorry.
We're gonna be in the stands with a whole family bloodline.
Right.
Hey, lit.
Right. You are know
lit. But my final what is it? Final thoughts. My final thoughts is respect people's spouses. Respect people's spouses and respect yourself. and treat
That
people
part.
how you want to be treated, and speak with love, because there's life and death in the tongue. And that's my final thoughts.
Church say amen.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
I dig it. I dig
The girl almost made me shout over
I'm
here.
sorry.
it. So my final thoughts is, yep, I totally understand and agree that this was a celebrity issue, but I think another movement of it, another frequency of it, and another action and the fallout from it was us being able to talk to each other from the point of a man and woman, and us understanding and being able to have a conversation surrounding actions, surrounding reactions, surrounding conversations, and consequences. And I think it was well worth the time that we took to do it. So always remember that regardless of what the action is, there's always an equal reaction with very real life consequences for those, and you can't escape them. No matter where you come from, no matter what it is, it's going to happen.
Correct.
If you put ill intentions out there, you will receive ill intentions. If you put goodwill and love out there, you will receive goodwill and love. Make your choices and decisions based on what you want to receive back, so you can suffer the consequences of all of them. So, in the wise words of Russell Simmons,
I'm hollering.
thank y'all for coming.
God bless you.
God bless.
God bless
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Check on your people. The evil.
We'll be back Friday.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We'll be back Friday.
Donate to our cash app.